Have you ever heard the phrase internalized transphobia? If you haven't, well, it's what happens when someone who is trans has grown up in an environment so toxic to trans people that you believe essentially what they taught you, therefore hating yourself and other trans people around you. This can essentially appear in very similar manners to how regular transphobia and misogyny does. And it can be funny to see just how many trans people can kind of fall into this trap and how common this kind of transphobe, the transgender pipeline, can really be for the trans community. However, there isn't a ton of representation in the media for it. A lot of media when it comes to trans people are usually either the demonized monsters that conservatives will try to push onto others, or the awesome, powerful character that'll show up and will showcase what happens when you truly accept yourself for who you are. And what about what happens when you can't accept yourself? When you aren't able to be who your heart tells you that you are? When you repress yourself so badly and have so much hatred for yourself that you push everyone away and can only extend that hate towards others? Well, personally, I couldn't really think of a fictional character that addressed this until a few days ago. The latest episode of The Amazing Digital Circus came out quite a few days ago on YouTube, and oh my god, it is very interesting to see Jax as this kind of character. Someone who hasn't accepted herself for who she is, and confirmed by the creator of the show, and has unfortunately met her end because they ultimately didn't accept themselves or the love that she was offered. The worst part being that everything came from their own actions. He caused Ribbit to extract, ostracized themselves from Ragatha, abused and bullied Gangle, was extremely transphobic to Zubul, and pushed away Pomni, despite when, after all of that, Pomni gave her the one chance that no one else was willing to give anymore. Keep in mind, it's still stated even within the show that Jax is an asshole, and shown to us that trauma, while being an explanation for a lot of these behaviors and why they've abused so many people, isn't an excuse for her actions. And I think this is emphasized when you look at the main premise of the show itself. Jax, and I cannot stress this enough, has and always will be the antithesis to the premise of the Amazing Digital Circus, in where people can find a community and happiness in what seems to be a meaningless world. Meanwhile, unlike everybody else, Jax's main coping mechanism is the spread of misery due to his troubled home life and transphobic mother. And I say this once again not to absolve Jax of any wrongdoing, but to explain why this stuff happens within people who seem to experience internalized transphobia. He hated himself so much, and people have treated him so poorly that they can barely fathom other people not thinking the same way. So in response, they are rude and close themselves off to other people. When Jax is goaded into being so vulnerable with Ribbit, revealing her secret to them, and then nearly getting caught by Kaufmo, that sealed everybody's fate. At least in Jax's mind. He figured he'd be treated badly, abused, beaten, or even laughed at for not acting like a real man. And with that, plus the fact that the only real example of manhood was really toxic, he leaned back on his old habits and abandoned Ribbit, truly sealing her fate. Manipulating Ribbit to self-isolate and causing abstraction. And when he's faced with any other stressful situation, the main response is to either run away, be incredibly rude, toxic, and manipulative to those around him, or to nearly extract. And I do want to go over abstraction for a minute, because I feel like it's another important point to go over with Jax and her coping mechanisms. As confirmed in the real world, Leroy's alive and well, as well as the rest of the IRL circus crew. But in the circus, during the final episode, Jax finally abstracts. Now, for most of the season, we really didn't know what abstraction was similar to. But I think with the given context, it's simply just taking your own life. Falling so hard into despair that you think there is only one way out. And unlike Pomni and the others who've spent their time throughout the series making friends to help them get past these burdens that would potentially put this upon them, Jax has spent it pushing away anybody willing to reach out to her. And especially within Jax, Ribbit, and Kaufmo's case, the reality of it being taking your own life is extremely poignant. It's sudden, seemingly random, away from everybody else in their own room. And even then, it is particularly noted how people are very unpleasant to be around before they abstract. And it kind of presents itself as a choice that was made to escape the pain that they were facing. And even while Pomni gets to finally talk to Jax before he disappears forever, and even if she said that she did not want to go, he's still gone by the end of the episode. Because people with this mindset don't want to die. It just seems to be the only option they can come up with to get around the fact that they are so terrorized. It's scary how real the entire situation for both trans people who are manipulated and taken advantage of by someone like this, and for those who used to be just like Jax before accepting who they are. In fact, I've seen a lot of people essentially relating to the fact that they either were similar to Jax or were treated like this by someone similar to Jax. There's a reason we say to listen to trans folks in situations like this, and it's because of how true these analogies can be. Again, none of this is to say that Jax is a good person or absolve the things that she has done in the show. In fact, it's the exact opposite. I would never want anyone to be near Jax or to ever talk to them, and would try my best to hold him accountable for all of the shit he has done. But that's just it, isn't it? She's a cautionary tale. A warning that instead of following in her footsteps, pushing everyone away, including yourself, you should accept your identity, learn more about your identity, and potentially even change some aspects about yourself you may not like. Treat others nicely and impart your wisdom and allow them to let you leave a positive impact. And accept the person that you truly are, taking down the mask from time to time, unlike Jax, where they have always kept their mask up, and really live with those that care about you. This is why I personally feel that Jax is not only a relatively amazing piece of representation that we do not see in media, but also a very good cautionary tale on internalized transphobia. Thank you all so much for coming over. And I appreciate everyone being here, and I haven't really done a lot of these for media analysis, so if you have any more comments or questions, please put them in the comments below. And until then, I hope to see you guys soon, hopefully with another video really soon. Goodbye, everyone.